Okay, so today we took a run again at Pohick Bay in Virginia. This is a course in, I guess I'm having a hard time pinning down exactly where it is. I would say Lorton, but it's a little east of Lorton. Lorton's on the west side of 95, and it's down south of Fort Belvoir just a little bit. I wouldn't say that it's Woodbridge. It's certainly north of Woodbridge. It's off by the George Washington plantation, but not down, or just a little bit south of George Washington's house, whatever that thing is that's at the end of the GW Parkway. Anyway, I've played it many times before, and I've played it for years. So to me, I have a lot of experience with this course, and I am sort of jaded, and I've had some bad experiences on this course with the course, or some of the course staff. And I've had a lot of bad experiences on this course with the slow play. So I was really kind of somewhat happy today to play it on the weekday, to get a hot deal for $37 to play it on a weekday. And the weather was not quite the 100-degree weather we've had lately. It was more like 85, 90, very sunny, but still comfortable in the shade. And I had a great time, I would say, playing this course, just going out there banging. My driver was really cooking today. I was out there just banging balls around and having a great time. They were going pretty much where I wanted them to go. And I only ran into one hole where I was just able to reach the fairway from the back tees. That was, I think, number 5. And I was just having a good time with some minor exceptions of, I would say, even during the day on the weekdays, you still run into these foursomes who like to putt out every ball and you just have a great time putting, and take forever to play. If you've ever played there, you know what I'm talking about. And also the greenskeeper fouling is a strike I have to give the course today. There was extreme greenskeeper fouling on number 11. Basically guys doing, plumbing in the middle of the fairway while I'm trying to hit on a par 3. And I witnessed some very rude greenskeeper fouling on number 9 for another foursome as I was driving up to the course with 2 guys on mowers just sitting there off to the left and right of the green, waiting for them to finish putting so they could go back to their work, And then just really only on those 2 holes, but still, it was extreme. I mean, I thought the guys mowing and waiting there for them to finish putting was just really, really, really rude. And I was really disappointed right from there. And I was like, man, am I just coming to this course on the wrong day? Is this a bad sign? Do I need to leave? And I was half tempted to just turn around and drive off the course right there because I didn't want to get any shit today on that course. And from what I was seeing, it just didn't look right. I was just catching a bad vibe, but went in and played it. And when I played number 12 or number 11, I wasn't the only one. The threesome in front of me had the same problem with the guys out there that looked like they were trying to dig up a piece of pipe in the middle of the fairway where people were playing the 12th hole. And it's just odd to play a par 3 with, a tractor, and another, 4x4 and a tractor and another cart and stuff, and people just out there. They were no more than 20 feet from the front corner of the green, and I'm trying to play this par 3, 190 yards to the green. But anyway, so I think the course has a fair amount of verticality. Let's get back to the issues. Fair amount of verticality. It has a fair amount of sloping shots off the fairway where if you miss the fairway too far to the left, like on the first hole, it drops off to the left at about 30 degrees. And while it is dropping off, there is a fair amount of rough over there for you to play and catch your ball and play out of. But it's not like it's a gimme course where if you miss the fairway, or the fairway's 200 yards wide or anything like that. It's not like that. It's a fairly responsible and regular woods course. And usually what happens with this course is you'll see some rough left and right, and then there's trees. So it's really just a question of how far off the fairway you are. The rough will save you if you're not too far off, and the worst that'll happen is you'll hit to an odd part of the fairway where you have a bad shot to the green, or you may have to take 2 shots to the green. So it isn't an easy course, certainly not a walkover course, but it's not a brutally difficult course. And then on top of that, the greens were slow. I think they were a notch or two slow, and slow enough to turn a solid downhill, like on a 20-degree downhill, to turn that into a putt where I had to actually push, putt it to get it to go down more than 20 feet. And that was not good, certainly not natural. It was certainly slower than in most courses that I've played lately, and it was a little bit disconcerting. And it wasn't even consistent. It wasn't consistent either. Some of the greens were almost normal speed, and some of them were very slow. And some of them were wet, and some of them were dry. And it was not, a great thing for putting in that regard. But in terms of tee to green, it was in good shape for that kind of stuff. The fairways were usually in decent condition. There were some, like number 14, the approach shot over that lake to the green. That's almost always chopped up. It was solidly chopped up today. I can think of a few other places where it's chopped up, but basically the course was in decent condition. Certainly not great, but not bad. The rough was present and decent, not overwhelming. It wasn't even all that thick. It was sort of the thin to intermediate waist. The sand traps were almost all in good condition except for one. I think number 14. The sand traps that were bordering the lake were marked ground under repair. And I think the course played well under these conditions. I had a good time. I had a good round. I enjoyed myself. The weather was good. The greenskeeper felling was not overwhelming. It was there, but not overwhelming. And the pace of play was good. Everybody ahead of me was either willing to let me play through or moved decently quickly ahead. It was a reasonable round on a reasonable course, and without too much unusual characteristics to the course or too much unusual characteristics to the staff or the greenskeepers. So for that reason, because under the same conditions I've had to evaluate other courses, I'm not going to evaluate it based upon how it plays on a Saturday. I will evaluate it based upon how it plays on a Tuesday. And it played fairly well under these conditions. They again had the local neighborhood kids come out, the high school kids come out and play the course at 3 o'clock. And a notch above the last 3 or 4 courses that I've played in terms of condition, but I would say it was possibly, and I guess I really can't say this because I know I've played the course 100 times, so it just doesn't play as fun to me as some of the other courses that I played. Certainly, it's not, a surprise. Nothing on the course is a surprise to me, and it does have some big shots, which I like. I like that about this course. It does have big shots. It does require you to swing a big stick and go for some good shots. But I still wouldn't call it a challenge. I still wouldn't call it all that much fun. I'd say it was just a matter of making tee shots and hitting some decent approach shots like in 150 range. Nothing really long, nothing really big. I didn't have any problems with the par 5s at all today, even from the back tees. And I think this course puts a real premium on driver and a decent premium on your short irons and not much on your putting. Okay, also, there weren't any houses on the course, and while there was some road noise, it was limited to number 6, right? The road that comes down there goes by number 6, number 7, the tee box for number 8. You certainly hear it on the green for number 17 and the tee box for number 18. And I think really the number 17, it did get to be a little bit overbearing because the green is right through a line of trees to the road. On the other holes, it was okay. I really thought it was a little bit much on number 17 green. 18, it's a little bit of a distraction as you're teeing off too. So not much road noise, no plane noise at all, just a little bit of road noise. And so you can't really complain about that. And certainly the OB that's on number 9 and number 18, on the right side of number 9 and the left side of number 18, not much of this course is an intrusion from the outside. The real problem, I think, if there is a problem with this course, it does tend to come from the players and in the management and the greenskeepers. So I'm going to give it a B. That's Pohick Bay in Lorton, Virginia.